The latest coming in from a cabinet meeting and a nod coming in for several projects, including 8,214 watershed projects, and that's the road minister speaking. Let's shift focus, talk about an IPO. Infibeam's 450 crore IPO recently got SEBI's nod. Priyank is in conversation with the management of Infibeam live in Ahmedabad. Let's cut across to him, Priyank.
He said that we're going to be raising 450 crores, through the IPO. And if you look at how we are going to spend that capital, some 235 odd crores is going to go into building out this cloud-based data centers.
Okay.
We have a lot of merchants who use our infrastructure, as in the technology infrastructure, as well as we also own a top-level domain by the name .000.
Okay.
Where, much like there is a .com, any merchant can actually get the name of their choice.
Okay.
So we've spent in the past also in terms of investments in technology, and we think that we will continue doing that, and we've listed 235 odd crores going into building out this whole cloud-based data center in Gift City in Ahmedabad. Then there's about close to 37.5 odd crores going into building out 75 more logistics last mile delivery centers.
Okay.
So we already have last mile logistics. We do delivery for customers, and as merchants on board, and they also want to deliver to customers, that we can perhaps provide that as a service. And then we are going to spend about close to 67 odd crores in terms of software.
Right.
So this is specifically around mobile ad servers, so that when people actually go to the people have started surfing using mobile phones.
Yeah.
So when they actually go and see an ad, hopefully it'll be served from us.
Okay.
The rest of it is GCP. So this is pretty much where we'll be investing most of the capital that we'll be raising.
What about financials as well? What kind of money are we talking about? Rather, what kind of performance are we talking about, especially on the EBITDA bit as well? What kind of cash on books are we currently holding? If you can share some bit of highlights as to how the performance has really played out over the last couple of years, and what kind of financial details you can share?
Certainly. So, we've listed in our DRHP all the results until December 2014.
Right.
And in that, if you look at year over year, we divide revenues into product revenue and service revenue.
Okay.
So all the revenue practically that comes from Build-A-Bazaar marketplace and all value-added services goes into service revenues.
Okay.
That is where we capture the value of the commission and not the value of the transaction. We also have product revenue. So whenever we actually buy and sell a product, that goes into product revenue. So if we look at the past couple of years performance, you would have seen that our service revenues have shown a compounded annual growth rate of more than 100%. Year over year.
Okay.
And again, the numbers that have been listed as until December of 2014. Service revenue has shown quite a bit of acceleration. We also see a growth in product revenue, and our focus, of course, is going to be on continuously keeping on adding customers and merchants. So as we keep on building out and giving out our marketplace infrastructure, we would like to have more and more merchants getting onboarded and customers being able to utilize the services.
Sure.
As far as the EBITDA levels are concerned, I think that service revenues, growth has helped us in the past couple of years. You would have seen that our EBITDA is actually showing a pretty good improvement year over year. I think we're almost at a point where we're marginally negative on EBITDA level.
Okay.
And I think that on a net level, so on the top line, we're doing about close to 218 odd crores. I think in the this is up to 9 months in December. So this is from April until December.
Okay.
And you would see almost an EBITDA which is very close to marginally being negative.
All right. So that's as far as the financials are concerned.
Yes.
Let's also talk about the business model itself. You've been highlighting as to how you've got two split in terms of services and products itself.
Yes.
Take us to the details out there as to how do you see these panning out. I know you might be constrained in terms of forward-looking statements out here, but still, in terms of what you've seen in the past and the way this entire e-commerce boom that we've been witnessing in the country, which of these segments or what kind of focus are we talking about on these two verticals?
So services is clearly our focus. We've highlighted that as part of our filing. We will continue, providing services to merchants. So there is always a seller who wants to sell to consumers broadly. And so as we keep on giving out our infrastructure to sellers, which is through the Build-A-Bazaar marketplace, we'll continue focusing on that. We've also expanded the same platform to offer to merchants overseas.
Right.
So in other words, we have merchants in Middle East, we have merchants in Europe.
Okay.
They've also started onboarding using our infrastructure, as in the Build-A-Bazaar marketplace infrastructure. So our focus is that as long as we keep continuously keep on acquiring merchants, I think it's a great place to actually, because the overall size of the unorganized market in India is significant.
Right.
And we think that as internet penetrations have kept on increasing year over year, that more consumers going online, which means more merchants have an appetite to perhaps sell to consumers online. We also will build out, programs that allow us to acquire more merchants. So, for example, we just acquired a top-level domain by the name .000,
right,
whereby a merchant, before they start, they would perhaps need to purchase a URL.
Okay.
The website that you go to.
True.
When somebody wants to actually go back and host and sell a product.
Okay.
So we think that that allows us to acquire merchants, because you would want a name.
Right.
And after they acquire, they essentially get the name, then they would perhaps need something to build up upon, so that they are able to go showcase their products and get consumers.
Right.
And then fulfillment and logistics also become value-added services. So we think that merchant customers are important to us. We will keep on giving our infrastructure out so that them, and our focus will continue being in that area.
Fair. Now I've got a two-part question here.
Sure.
You've been somebody who's been in this entire industry for a long time. It's not that you just started the operations here. You've seen this entire e-commerce story really play out when we talk about the Indian context. So one, what's really changed? How has this industry really evolved? Some perspective on that. And secondly, how does Infibeam really differentiate itself from some of the other names?
Sure. So I think in the past several years, you would have seen that the consumers have moved online in India. So the internet penetration, which used to be in a single-digit percentage, penetration in terms of how many people, internet users versus the overall population, that has gone to double digits. Okay? And today, India is perhaps, based on the reports, one of the third largest absolute internet user, geography, if you will. And so that has actually changed quite a bit about how people find products, transact, and what is the appetite for even retailers to move online.
Okay.
So in the past few years, I think it's consumer driven, whereby consumers are moving online, the internet penetrations have grown, the total e-commerce transaction value has increased in the past few years, and that is the reason why there are different business models that have evolved in terms of catering to such consumers. So broadly speaking, in our opinion, there are three different models which we've also highlighted as part of our filing. We think there's a model whereby there is a retailer who will purchase and sell products. So you essentially take the products in your books and you sell to the consumer. Then there is a model where a company will just offer the platform, and there is a seller who will ship to the buyer. So you take a commission.
Right.
And then there is a third, which is also a market, which they call marketplace, but there's a third which is called managed marketplace, whereby you not only offer the platform, but you also offer fulfillment, logistics, customer service, dispute resolution to the seller, so that the buyer feels more confident of purchasing. So these are the three business models that we have highlighted, which we think have evolved in the past several years. Each of them, they have their own nuances. Our business model, which is the Infibeam Inc. business model, is based on two different revenue streams, which is services. Services is our Builder Bazaar marketplace, whereby rather than a single destination URL where consumers transact, we allow every retailer to build their own brand online. So in other words, you actually take that single destination.
Massive, you're coming in from Infibeam, the latest company to hit the markets and its IPO. But on that note, completely out of time, this edition of Market Pulse. Up next is Countdown. Just stay tuned. Thanks for watching.